start with it. So resume is a word you'll hear a lot during the job hunting process. A resume is also sometimes called as a CV, which is a curriculum vitae, and it's a document that lists your work experience, your education, your skills, and your achievements. Now, you will need a resume for almost any and every job application. It's considered essential information. Now, essential information to give out to an employer so that they can weigh up whether you're suitable for a role and if they want to invite you for a job interview. So, how many of you really want to apply for jobs and grow in your career? Almost all of you, right? So, what should your resume include? Now, your resume should start with your personal details. Now, personal details start by listing your full name, your contact information, include your phone number and your address. Don't go over the board. We'll talk about the points that need not be included in your personal details in a resume. Now, after the personal details comes the career objectives or summary. Now, these are very, very short statements to help you pitch yourself. Now, when you're pitching yourself, you're literally selling yourself to the employer. If you've recently left school or your university and you don't have much of a professional experience, yet you begin your resume with a career objective, a sentence or two outlining your skills and your work ambitions. And if you have had any previous experience in the workforce, whether it's a corporate, I'm sure in your case, you're all freshers right now. You must have had some experience in internships. So you could put that in so that, it gets highlighted. Now, next you need to include your education. Now, list your latest education experience first and work backwards. So it's recent to the most backdated thing. So this includes courses or qualifications if you've completed at a university, and TAFE, like short courses or other institutions that relate to role you're interested in applying for. Now, include your high schooling if it was less than 5 years ago. For each experience, include the qualification you received. Where you studied is very, very important. For example, you're studying in Amity University or Harvard University or Boston University, ISB, or let's say YMCA, IEEE. You have to mention all of that. And when you started, when you finished, any specialization area of study, plus awards or other achievements. So when you mention awards or other achievements, everyone is going to really look at your CV and say, wow, now this is a credible candidate that I'm going to look forward to. After your education is done, then you list your work experience, right? So you list your most recent jobs, or let's say if you don't have work experience, you list your most recent internship in an organization and the dates that you worked there. For example, you worked from, let's say, September 2018 to September to October 2018. For a month, you were interning in a particular firm. You mentioned the dates. It's not always very, very imperative to mention the date, but definitely the month and the year. So that gives the employer a sense of when you were really working and what you were doing for that particular duration and what you were doing afterwards and what you were doing before that. Now, after the work experience comes the skills, strengths, or interests. You could create headings for these topics and list out information that's relevant to the job that you're applying for. For example, I'm applying for a marketing job. Now, if I say that I am interested in IT or computers, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because if I'm a marketing candidate, I better be good at digital marketing, at social media marketing, at things like search engine optimization, or let's say purchase per click, or designing creatives, content creation, etc. So make sure that you write your skills, strengths, or interests in line with the job that you're applying for. Now, after the skills, strengths, or interests come the references. Extremely, extremely vital. Now, most employers will require references from people you know professionally who can actually vouch for your skills and abilities. Now, the people who vouch for your skills and abilities are the ones you have worked under. They've seen you grow in life. Right now, if you don't have an internship, your references could be your professors in your colleges. Your favorite subject, your favorite professor, get the references down. And if you wish to write references available on request, that is also another option. If you really don't want to give out the references, but give them an option that they're available on request, which is fine. Now, students often ask me this question: how long should my resume be? Now, tell me something. If someone gives you a particular form which is never ending, would you like it? You would lose the patience to read it, isn't it? So keep your resume short and crisp and to the point so you can make a very, very good impression when an employer takes a very quick glance at it. And consider making your resume 1 or 2 pages if you have less than 10 years of professional experience. And senior executives or academics may like to have resumes more than 3 pages long. But here we're not talking about senior executives, we're talking about freshers, we're talking about talented students who are going to apply for a job, and their resume needs to be short and crisp and to the point. Now, what should the resume look like? Now, it's important to make sure that the design and the layout of a resume is neat and it makes the other person comfortable to read it. So it should be legible enough. Now, use 1 or 2 clear fonts, like Times New Roman, Calibri, or Garamond are very, very professional fonts to be used. Use headings, use bullet points, and split the paragraphs. Do not try to make huge paragraphs. Try to split the points, point number one, point number two, point number three, and bullet them down. And while you're at it, make sure your spelling and grammar are correct. This is very, very important. Your spellings have to be correct, your grammar has to be correct, and your sentence formation has to be to the point. Don't mess up with English there, get it corrected, get it checked by a colleague or another student, a friend of yours, a teacher or professor. That's very, very essential and will help you. Now, very, very important. What to leave out in a resume? हम resume में क्या छोड़ सकते हैं और हमें क्या छोड़ना चाहिए? Like a lot of people get confused with it. Now, your resume is meant to give a summary of your skills and experience. So there's no need to include every detail. उसमें आप ये नहीं बताएंगे कि this is your age, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether your marital status, for example, your religion, your age. There is no need to list all of that. Also, there is no need to list every job that you've ever had or everything that you've participated in so far. Especially if a job isn't relevant to the role you're applying for now, then it is absolutely meaningless for you to list down that, I worked in so and so organization, I worked here, I worked there. So it's important for you to share your previous job history, which relates to the current job that you're applying for, so that it's in tandem. Once it's married, when the previous job is married to the job that you're going to do now, then the employer also feels that, all right, now this fellow or this particular student or candidate has an experience in this particular field, right? So do not include your salary expectations. I know everyone wants to know what salary I'm going to get, whether I'm going to get 20,000, 35,000, 60,000, 70,000. Or if you work in an internship, if you want to specify that, yeah, this much was the stipend or this was the monthly thing that I was getting, you mention, but it's not really required. Now, I'm going to give you all a cheat sheet for building a resume. It's a bad, bad, bad idea to go to the internet and search CV writing, format, this, that, or borrow a format from another friend. Now, you already know in sequence where to start and where to end. Then you contemplate, then you think, what all can I put in personal details? What help do you need of another person? In your skills or interests, you know what your strengths are. You know what your weaknesses are. So you shun the weaknesses out, you write down the strengths, and that's how you plan it. Now, for that, I'm going to give you a cheat sheet that is called as a career plan worksheet. Now, career plan worksheet kya hai? You make 2 columns. One, you write your values, and the other, you write what your values are. So now my top 3 career-related values are, for example, prestige. Now I feel very, very proud to be a part of this particular college or a part of this particular organization in my college, which is cultural organization, or let's say placement and training organization or cell. And despite of so many problems, I love this kind of a thing because it makes me feel a part of where I belong. It makes me feel wanted. And you could say that you have the prestige as your value, you have leadership and creativity as your value. Now, You write why you think you're a leader, because you have the ability to influence others, or you like to be a leader because you like to take initiative, you're very outgoing, you like talking to people, you like driving them along with you. You have the art of people management, you have the sense to tell people that, hey, this is how I think this should be done or executed, and people say, wow, I never thought of it that way, you're brilliant, we'll follow you, right? So that is leadership and creativity. You keep analyzing and innovating new things, right? Now, after leadership and creativity, you could also write things like risk taking. Now, this is only for you. Remember this. This cheat sheet is only for you. This is not for the employer to be seen, because what we're going to do is we're going to pick up things from the cheat sheet and put them in the resume. So once you do that, you are absolutely planned and you can't go wrong. So risk taking, I enjoy taking risk as it gives me a sense of excitement, challenge, and adventure. And you could write a particular, let's say, an experience where you took risk in your life. Let's say you were to go to a science stream, and at the very last minute, you thought that you won't understand physics, chemistry, or mathematics. You want to go to the commerce stream. Now, that's a risk that you're taking, because you knew always that you wanted to be an engineer, but now you feel that the pressure and the burden is going to be so very much that you would resort to things like business studies or economics, which are slightly, I wouldn't say that they're not difficult. Nothing is not easy, or nothing is easy or not difficult, but they're slightly different and more theoretical than practical than science, of course. So, that you could mention, and how you came across as a winner, how you achieved your goals, that would be your value. Now, the second thing is your interests. Now, what really your interests are? Your interests could be networking. Now, if you belong to a particular profession, which is marketing, now networking is something I think which is pervasive in all kind of fields, because you need to network everywhere and anywhere. So network, 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 very, very crucial. So networking could be one of your key skills that you would like to highlight. Then you would like to highlight something like, let's say, teamwork. Now, employers love students or candidates who are good at teamwork. Now, teamwork, we have always studied that we replace an I with a we. Now, when we replace an I with a we, मैं की जगह हम हो जाए, तो क्या होता है? It has more power, it has more thought process, it has more inputs, it has more creativity. And that's why we say that majority wins, or, a group always does well. So that's what teamwork does to us. Other people give you ideas, you have your strengths, the other person has his own strengths, you have your own weaknesses, so do the other people in the group. Then you put together, you brainstorm together, put together the thoughts, and then you come out with a lovely output. That's what teamwork does, right? And after that, you could go for something like eye for detail. Now, having an eye for detail doesn't mean that if there's garbage lying in that corner, you would pick it up. But it literally means that, let me tell you. Now, eye for detail, meaning that you are a very good observer. Now, for example, you go to your office, you've just joined it, and you know where the security guard sits, where the reception is, what time the receptionist goes, what time she comes. Now, you're careful about all these things. You value the organizational processes. So you have an eye for detail. Eye for detail could also be when you do client meetings, when you do your review meets, which is, of course, there's still time for you all to get there. But once you get there, having an eye for detail and concentrating and focusing on things is going to really, really help you a very long way, right? Now, let's move on to the next cheat sheet point, which is technical skills. Now, I'm sure you must be from different backgrounds. How many science background students do we have here? Do we have a lot of science background students? Me, science. All right.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you for your replies. Thank you, my dear students. Now, technical skills, you have Microsoft Excel, Now you make budget sheets, revenue targets, you make reports there, you do calculations on an Excel sheet, you do formula or formulae on an Excel sheet. So those are the technical skills that you have. For example, you could be a graphic designer, you could be an animation creator. Now designing logos for promotion for a particular, let's say, organization or let's say college projects, all these are a part of technical skills, graphic designing, Microsoft Excel. Let's say when I gave you the example of search engine optimization and social media, that is also technical. वो भी technical है. You have a sound knowledge of these particular modules of digital marketing. You possess the technical skills of how to use these tactics, these strategies and techniques to increase the amount of visitors to a particular website. That's what SEO does. Search engine optimization का यही काम है, divert करना traffic और उस engine को ऑप्टिमाइज करके यूज करना, ज्यादा से ज्यादा यूज करना. Now let's comes next comes what the point is, employability. Now employability skills में what do you think आप लिखना चाहोगे अपने बारे में? You need to show them here how you can add value to that organization. Why should I pick you up as an employee or for my organization or for my firm? That is only when you will highlight skills such as you are loyal and dedicated, you are very punctual, you know how to manage things in crisis, you're a good student, but you will also be a good employee. It's not like you've done your homework well or आपने अपना exam में बहुत अच्छे marks लाए हैं. Really doesn't matter. You need to be good at your work, at execution. You should be proficient in what you do. So any particular job that you do, you say that you're very loyal and dedicated, you're sincere, you're punctual, and at the same time, please follow what you're telling them. Because nobody is a fool. They will all catch you in the very first place when they feel that this person is not punctual, whether you're 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, or 15 minutes late. Late means late. You punch in at your workplace and there's a red mark because you didn't sign in at the right time. Now, loyal and dedicated is something that employers really value, that, she or he is going to work with me in my company and I'm going to be sharing the sales targets, the revenue reports, everything. But since she or he is loyal, this person is not going to leak out the information to another firm. Or loyalty could also be taken as this person is going to stick to the organization for some time. They or this particular employee will not abandon us. So that is also very, very crucial for people to feel that you are dedicated, you are sincere enough, you are loyal enough to devote to a particular organization, at least for some time. Nobody is making you sign contracts here. Nobody is going to do that. But it is up to you when you want to grow in life, when you want to make the next move. So till that time, when you're sticking to one organization, remain very loyal, remain very, very dedicated. Now we'll move on to the next place, which is next point, which is career choice. Now you list down that if you've done bio, if you've done chemistry, you've done physics, what are the different career choices that you can make? Like a marketing analyst, or let's say a sales and marketing consultant, if you're from commerce background or a sales and marketing background, or let's say you want to be a psychologist, or you want to be an engineer. Now, which engineer? Mechanical engineer, electronic engineer, what type of, or let's say telecommunications and finance engineer. It could be a combination of both commerce and science. So note down what your career choices are. And then, entrepreneurship could also be one of your career choices. It's not necessary to always and always look for a job in the market. You could always start your own venture as well. If you have a particular idea and you feel that that's about it, you can do wonders, you can definitely start with something of your own, which is your own business. Nothing like your own business. Now, then you come down to the point of areas for improvement. That is, what additional knowledge, what additional skills or qualifications would you need in order to successfully transition from a student to a particular job candidate or an employee? Now, for example, I was working with the Tatas for about 6 years. Then I worked with a real estate firm, total corporate experience of 8 years. Now I want to shift to personality grooming and development that I do. So, what skills do I need to enhance? I need to do a certification course in personality development, maybe image consulting. So, I did all of that, and that's why I changed my field. Now, for example, you want to work in a firm where they say that you need to know C++ as a language, as a computer language. Now, you need to learn that technical skill, right? So you go to, let's say you do an online course because now it's social distancing. Unfortunately, we can't go to a computer lab and learn it from a particular teacher or a professor. There's so many courses online, and we can always enhance our skills online. All right. So technical skills, what you need to advance, that is done. Now, what are SMART goals? Does anybody know what SMART goals are? What do you mean by an SMART? Five-letter word, SMART. What is SMART? Specific, very good. Very good, Gurpreet. Measurable. It's only Gurpreet who's answering. Attainable, yeah. Achievable or attainable. Excellent. Absolutely correct. Realistic. Time bound, you meant, Avinash. You got that right, Parul. Thank you. So specific, measurable, achievable, result focused, time bound, everything is SMART goal. Now, you need to list down what your SMART goal is. What do you want to do in specific? Now, write down everything very, very categorically, specific. आपको real में कितने time में time bound कितना है आपका goal? आपका goal realistic कितना है? अभी आप कहाँ हैं? आप बोलते हैं कि 5 years के बाद you want to be a CEO of the organization. Is that really possible? Is it a small organization that you're in, or is it a large organization, or it is a standalone? What is it really? Whether it's a firm, chain, a franchise, you need to consider all these aspects to develop what your SMART goals are. After you develop your SMART goals, you need to do your SWOT analysis. Now, in your SWOT analysis, you write down your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Now, we've done numerous projects. Have we ever done our own SWOT analysis? कभी हमने अपनी strengths, weaknesses को analyze किया है? किया है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. एक बार फिर करिए. Now, when you analyze your strengths, you write down you're a good leader, you're a motivator, you're a confident speaker, you have good communication skills, you have a problem analysis and problem solving skills that you possess, all that you write. Make a note of this. Crisis management, you're also an empathetic person, you understand what the other person is going through, all of that. Now, in your weaknesses, you write down you're a perfectionist. As a global sales manager, you sometimes used to spend more time, just making everything perfect in your report, or as an intern in this particular organization, maybe you're interning with LG or Sony or Ericsson, and there, as an intern, wherever you used to get a report, you always used to take out a lot of time in perfecting that report. Now, that is a good quality, but at the same time, it's also a weakness because you're wasting a lot of time. People want the report. People do not want to. Is it okay to write emotional as your weakness in your resume? Absolutely, but there are better words. You write that you're sometimes sensitive, sometimes emotional. Emotional is not really a weakness that you'd like to highlight because that's more to do with who you are, Gurpreet, as a person, not who you are as a candidate. It is all right to share all of that in a personal interview level. But when a person is reading something, for example, I gave you a notebook on myself to read. Now you will only go by the words that are written there. You don't know me as a person, do you? You don't. So if you don't know me, you will completely and blindly follow what's written in there, in that document. So it's very, very imperative for us to write words which employers feel are positive and which they feel would add value to their organization. And in your personal interview, employers always tend to ask you, what are your weaknesses? I've said that, in my previous interviews that sometimes I lose it. I'm a bit short-tempered. Now, if you're short-tempered, then you say that what are you doing about your short-temperedness? Now, are you trying to control it somehow? Are you trying to meditate? Or are you trying to do something else to get over that weakness? So mention things which do not really make the employer feel that, oh my God, she's emotional. How will she work with us? You can always talk about in your PI. Now, high achiever, perfectionist, these are all weaknesses. Now, high achiever, I have the notion that, of always being a leader and influencing people to behave in a certain manner. Now, a high achiever would do that. That no, I'm a 95 percenter. I know what is correct. You don't know what is correct. And I am the only whole and sole person to drive the entire team in my college, right? So you need to write all of these down, what really, where you're actually lacking. And this is only your cheat sheet. Now you see your opportunities. What are the opportunities in the environment? Whether you have another firm coming up now because of social distancing, you'll have to really, really analyze job में, market में क्या opportunities है आप लोगों के लिए available. क्या वो online कुछ कर सकते हैं आप? क्या आप कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऐसी ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं जिसमें 3 दिन वर्क फ्रॉम होम करें और 4 दिन आप घर पे हो ऑफिस में हो या 5 days a week हो या 6 days a week हो something which is flexible. How do you make money? So you have to analyze the opportunities here. Now environmental threats. What are your environmental threats? Environmental threats सबसे बड़ा अभी चल रहा है which is COVID. Now this is a major environmental threat wherein you know that it's a pandemic. It's worldwide, it's global, it's not just struck India, but it's so unfortunate that the entire world has been affected. But how do you get over it? Now, they always say that there's spring after every winter. So, in the winter, you have to work hard. आपको मेहनत करनी ही है आपको अपना काम करना ही है हर रोज अगर आप कॉलेज के लिए उठते थे एक रिजीम फॉलो करते थे फॉलो दैट now you sit down and you write down what you want to achieve. You make a timetable, you make a schedule, and then you write down, okay, this, that, this is what I'm doing. Okay, tick mark, this I couldn't do, cross, then follow up for the next day, follow up for the next week. You have to do it. Nobody else will do it. You won't get life in a platter now. Now times are even more difficult. It's very essential, and it's the exact and the most appropriate time to hone your skills. Learn communication, how to improve your English, how to enhance your personality. Join grooming classes, join some or the other skill to improvise on what you already have. You all are intelligent, you all have technical skills, but how many of us are confident? How many of us can be left alone on a stage in front of 500 people and can really talk it out well? So we have to analyze all of that. Now, after doing all of this, uh, I would like to say that this was a cheat sheet and I would be sharing it with other people also. There is something called as a cover letter. How many of us are aware of a cover letter? How many of us are aware of a cover letter? All right. I see the same names again. Okay, now different, now different. Beautiful. Thank you, students. Now we come to what literally is a good cover letter. Now, any resume should and must have a cover letter. Once you put a cover letter, you know what it does to your resume? It makes it shine like gold because the employer automatically comes to know that you're very serious about the job. You really are interested in what you are doing. Yeah. So, in your job cover letter, you write that why you want to apply for this job. Who are you? Write a brief about yourself. Now, I am Akshita Kapur, and I am a Master of Business graduate from so and so university, and I wish to apply for the role of, let's say, a marketing analyst at ABC Limited. Now, I saw this job role at this particular organization. Now you see that your particular, you saw this advertisement at a particular organization on this particular date. Now that is also very important because they want to know where you heard about them from and how are you so updated. Now you write as you're seeking a person who is tech savvy, who's analytical, who's very goal focused, marketing professional to join your team as a marketing analyst, I urge you to consider the enclosed resume detailing my background and my qualifications. Now, when you write such a thing, that employee instantly comes to know that she's the one, she's interested in applying for this particular role, and this particular candidate has done her homework, has done her research, and now is writing a cover letter as well to apply for the job. So in some websites like Indeed or let's say monster.com or naukri.com, you will get the option of upload cover letter and they'll say it's optional. There, even though it's optional, I would really urge you all to go in for it. Because optional चीजें क्या होती हैं? They put you down. They make you feel कि अरे optional है, let it be. Now, but if you do that, it creates a lot of impact. So do that. So write about yourself that you're very result oriented, you're a very good manager, you're a strategic thinker. Basically, write what your strengths are. Then you say that you have good communication skills, you possess a wide range of knowledge and expertise in your particular field, and you would want them to foster me to contribute toward the success of your company, you know. So I possess a range of knowledge and expertise that will foster me to contribute towards the success and the growth of your company. So now you write all your qualities. Then you write that, you know, I also have excellence in networking and building contacts. Now I like to go to different places or different events where I can exchange cards with people and interact with them and get to know what exactly is happening in the market, which is very, very imperative. You need to be constantly updated. So that is that. Now, then you write what you really are passionate about. You're passionate about marketing, and hence I'm specializing in the same from so and so university. It's my last semester, and just when the semester would be over, I would love to join your company. And you strongly feel that a holistic approach to problem solving can bring out better solutions. You have to highlight that you're a problem solver. So then you say that I hence plan on using the skills that I have, the analytical skills, the technical skills, the problem solving skills to find pragmatic solutions to any company issues that your company might go through. And I want to drive initiatives because I am an initiator. कभी भी आपकी firm में problem हो, I would be able to contribute. And how will we be able to contribute is by letting them know that, hey, these are the skills that I have, and I very well can contribute to your organization's growth and success. Now, you also write about your achievements. Now, the following achievements demonstrate my qualification for this position. What literally are your achievements? Like maybe you've done excellent revenue achievement in your internship days. You have built a very good rapport with your senior executives. You had excellent interpersonal relationships with your boss and with your professors and with your other fellow dear students in the college. You write all of that. You're a very good presenter. You make excellent PowerPoint presentations, or let's say your time management abilities are very good. Now your analytical trends, your time management, all that highlighted. Now, what are the skills that you have is this. You also say what degree do you have? You have a particular degree of BSc or an MSc, or let's say an MBA or a BBA. You write all of that, or a BCom honors, or let's say English honors, whatever you have, write that in your cover letter. You don't have to really copy a resume. A cover letter is a little expansive or an expanded version of a resume. And you don't have to make it unnecessarily long and never ending, but you can definitely try to expand the pointers or the bullet points that you had written in your resume. Then you have, let's say, work experience. You've worked, let's say you got a scholarship one time and you went out of India to study, let's say for 1 month or 2 months. For example, I went to France in 2010. Now, wow, it's been 10 years. So I went to France in 2010 to study on scholarship at Watel International Business School. Now, once you go there, you have a cross-cultural environment that you're interacting with. You have French people, you have the Swiss coming in, you have the Dutch coming in, then you have Germans coming in, then you have more Indians coming in from other parts of India, which is also new to us. How many of us really feel that here in, I mean, India is a diverse country. You have so many cultures, it's multicultural. So from India also, we were like 21 students selected all over India. And when I went there, I met Germans, I met Bangladeshis, I met Pakistanis, I met Chinese, I met Frenchies, of course, because I was in France. So it gives you very good exposure. It gives you how they, it gives you a feel of how they eat, what they eat, what are their habits. They're also humans at the end of the day, but how are they different from us? Because their upbringing has been different. So such kind of things really impress employers, and it's absolutely all right if you haven't had a scholarship and if you haven't traveled abroad. When you say that you have an experience of, let's say, you worked with a volunteer work or NGO work, really impresses employers. You've donated something to someone during COVID. You've done a good daan. You've given someone rice, roti, wheat. You've given someone bread or something to eat. You've taken care of some family by giving them some amount of money, because the poor is getting poorer and the rich is just stagnant now. They're not growing, but they're not even getting poor. They're just stagnant. They're at the same place they were before. They're not growing. So write all of that, and then you write, that you want to close this by saying that I look forward to your response, and I'm more than keen to work for your esteemed organization. Now, after you do the cover letter, I would like to tell you all that, folks, to get a job, what you're assessed on most is your soft skills. Now, this lockdown phase is the best time to hone your skills. Like we at the New Me Finishing Academy, me as the CEO, I take care of so many modules which are interview skills, social graces, dining etiquette, wine and dine. Then you also come here to learn confidence building, communication skills, and people have really evolved from here. People have learned, students have come, there have also been corporate clients who've come to us, and it really helps them grow in life. You are at a very good age. There's no age to learn, but you all are at a very good age and a very good space in this particular lockdown to just devote your time to hone your skills, whether it is voice modulation, communication skills, body language, your attitude, very, very important, your attitude, your knowledge. You prepare for interviews by reading about those companies, etc. Now we make you do that. And we are very soon going to launch an online course as well that you could specifically enroll yourselves in. Now, explore different career opportunities for yourselves. For each person, this task is going to be different. I want to be a pilot, you want to be a professor, I want to be an engineer, you want to be a marketer. So you want to do law, I want to do chartered accountancy, you want to do company secretary, I want to do something else, I want to do fashion designing. Now, see for yourself whether you're inclined towards a particular profession. Now, analyze how your qualification matches with what you want to go ahead with in life in terms of working in the corporate sector. Or let's say if you want to start your own business, you say that, no, I don't want to work in the corporate sector. I want to start with my own business. Okay, so if you want to start with your own business, do you have the capital? Or if you don't have enough capital, do you think you're going to take a loan? And how much loan will you take? What are the kind of expenses? What are the kind of expenses you're going to have? So you got to analyze all of that. Now, for you to establish your own business, these are the changes. You also analyze the environmental threats. You also analyze competition. You study the market. Do you do your STP, segmentation, target market, and positioning of your product or your service, which is STP? You do all of that. And you know, people now, for anyone to establish business, there are the 8 P's which are very, very famous. I would like to share with you all, which is passion, passion, passion. You have to have the passion. You need to have people expertise. You need to have the potential in you to perform well. You need to have the perseverance. You need to have patience. आप में बिल्कुल होना चाहिए कि धीरे धीरे ही I will achieve my goal. It's not, there's no shortcut. Then there has to be proactiveness. Before something happens, you need to study the market and you need to behave and react in that way. And it's better to respond to the market than react to the market. Response is always better than reaction. Now, what is a permanent change? That you're stopping something that you were doing before and now you're resorting to your business. But that business, my dear friends, is also not a permanent change, because in your business things will constantly keep changing because the environment is absolutely dynamic and you will learn so many things. Sometimes you will feel that, oh, I bought this for $400, or let's say I bought it for 20,000 rupees and this is not going to be used. So now you find ways of selling it back to the procurement team. How are you going to do it? You have to figure that out. And that's what business teaches you. So you need to keep exploring yourselves every day. You need to feel motivated every day that yes, this is my goal, this is where I need to reach, and this is what I can do. These are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, these are my opportunities and threats. And yes, if I want to be a professor, this is the qualification that I need to have. So I need to really work on my technical skills and my particular knowledge in that field and get that degree or diploma course and then apply for that job, right? So it is absolutely very, very important to correctly make your resume, to keep your resume saved in your computer, in your phone, take a hard copy for it. And nowadays, I think once you'll be applying for jobs, there'll be mostly Skype interviews. What to wear for a Skype interview? Now that's a different topic altogether. How, where to place your camera, what really to wear, how much makeup should girls do, and what kind of hair should you have? All that really matters. So once you graduate from the level of making a CV, then you come to how to prepare for an interview. I've done that session for a lot many college students, and they love it, absolutely love it. So appearing for an interview, cracking an interview in personal interview is our strength. So next time we could do something on that topic. So I wish you all the very best, everyone. This is a hard time, but this too shall pass. Keep yourselves motivated. Focus, focus, focus on only acquiring new skills and polishing on your existing skills. If you think that you lack in grammar, study grammar. If you think you lack mathematics, study math. This is the right time. And dear friends, this time won't come back. It better not come back. It better not come back, this pandemic. But in terms of looking at it from a positive side, I would really, really say that this is really a very good time. You set your timetable up, you follow your nutrition, you exercise, you do your sleep cycle. Okay, take some time off for gaming, video gaming, or talking on the phone to your friends, boyfriends, or girlfriends. Do all of that. But do not forget your goal. It's very, very important because you all are the future of our country. And you need to remember where you want to get to and how you want to get there. All right. So thank you very much for having me here as a speaker today. And all the very, very best to all of you. Much love to all of you. May you always grow and shine in life. All my best wishes are with you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for this informative webinar. We really appreciate your efforts and thanks to the supportive audience. And stay tuned for new webinars. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.